dream in my pocket. Took a step and I couldn't stop it. Every stumble lit a fire inside. Now I walk with my head held high. Lessons learned and bridges burned. Still I rise with every turn. This is more than just a climb. It's my moment, it's my time. No more hiding in the crowd. Gonna wear my soul out loud. The world is waiting just to see all the magic inside of me. Shine, shine like a diamond bright. Shine your light, you've got every right. You are special, let it show. Be yourself and let it flow. Stand out, don't dim your glow. You were born to steal the show. Shine, shine like you mean it. Shine so bright they can't believe it. Pages turn, but the heart stayed true. Every scar's got a golden hue. Telling my story in my own style. With every post, every smile. From the hustle to the heart. Every ending's a brand new start. Turning passion into plans. Now I'm dancing where I stand. I don't chase, I'm magnetized. My journey.
Hello everyone, lovely to see you all. My name's Narelle Warcon, as you may know, from Mackay, Queensland, Australia. And today is Who, What, Where Wednesday, and our subject today or topic is Your Calling is Louder Than Your Doubts. Don't know whether you've had a chance to have a look at the topic and think about that today, but I'm going to say a few hellos first and run through a few things before we get into the topic. So welcome everyone, it's really lovely to see you. I've had a bit of a tough day today. I don't know why it's just me, but maybe it's you as well. And my heart goes out to anyone who's feeling a little bit stressed or a little bit overwhelmed, a little bit overburdened sometimes with what goes on in life. So my heart and my prayers go out to you today. I'm just not feeling 100%, so I'm off to see the doctor tomorrow just to make sure that everything's okay. I think for me, I tend to carry a bit of stress in my body, so maybe it's just that, but I will get it checked out just in case. Okay, so lovely to see you. Thank you for joining us, Jean. Always lovely to have you here on a Wednesday morning from the US. Good, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for your contributions on my YouTube channel as well. Appreciate that. It's so good to see you also, Abdul. And also Emma Math Boover, thank you so much for joining us. Kenton's here from New Zealand. Guys, if you can just put in where you're coming in from. I know where Jean is coming in from and Kenton, because Kenton is our New Zealand buddy over there, doing very well. Probably a little bit cooler than here. I'm actually got the air conditioner on. I don't know whether it's because it's just me or whether it's actually warming up here already. Still got a few weeks of winter to go here. What's it like in your area? Also, Oyana, thank you. And Glenda Forbes and her daughter, Jasmine, sorry. The mind's not quite with it tonight. Jasmine joining us here from South Australia. So thank you, Glenda. Lovely to see you both. So I'm going to move on with what we're going to talk about today, but I do want to do a couple of things first. So have a think about our topic today. Your calling is louder than your doubts. A lot of us, I think, as we go over the weeks, we've been through certain different things, self-talk and, small is the new big, and different topics that we've been covering, which I hope brings some value to you, or at least those thoughts around, maybe I could change this, or maybe I could have a look at this. Hi, Babloos. Thank you so much for joining us. Cold. Sorry, Kenton. It's hot here. A little bit cooler at nights, but yeah, it's definitely starting to warm up during the day. So I also want to, before I go ahead, ask you to please send prayers to all of those who've been advised of a tsunami warning from an earthquake. So it's over. I believe that the earthquake happened on the border of Russia, down the bottom end, and there has been tsunami warnings going out for parts of the US, Hawaii, and things like that. So please keep them in your prayers so that, you know, there's nothing that's going to damage, or that the waves subside and not hit into those areas. So firstly, that prayers for myself, please. Like I said, I'm not feeling 100%. Off to the doctor tomorrow, and hopefully everything will go fine. I'm not too worried about it, but prayers always help. So thank you for those prayers. Also sending prayers out for everybody right now, because there seems to be, you know, a lot of stuff sort of happening. We can get quite overwhelmed. And if we reach out and support each other and lift each other up, when I did my spontaneous live the other day, thank you, Jean. I'm glad that you like my topics. I just sort of go with the flow sometimes on the topics because of what's needed out there, or what experience I can bring. So, okay, so I'll get on with some other things. Okay, so I'll get on with some other things first, but let's get into this topic and let's unravel it a little bit. Forgive me, please. I will be reading tonight because I'm a little bit... So your calling is louder than your doubts. What do you think that means? What do you think? You know, hi, Lisa. Lovely to see you. Lisa, tomorrow is the day I send the book. So it'll take a couple of weeks to get to you. So, but you'll get notices along the way, no doubt. So welcome, everyone. It's another powerful day for growth, alignment, and truth. And remembering that we all have a calling, okay? And have you sort of thought about what that calling is? So today I want to speak straight to your heart and your purpose, okay? So this isn't just another motivational talk, it's a realignment. Where are we heading with this? So a return to who you are called to be, a return to who you are called to be. So do you know, have you thought about that? We've been going over this for many weeks now, and I know that many of you, thank you, Lisa, many of you will be thinking that this is all there is for you, okay? But it's not. The noise of the world of doubts, critics, confusion can be very, very loud, but your calling is louder. If you listen closely, it never stops speaking. You know, so sometimes that noise of the world, that the doubts, confusion, tend to squish our purpose, our calling down, because then the doubt sets in. Remember, the doubt of, and that self-talk of, oh no, I'm not good enough. Oh no, somebody's going to laugh at me. Somebody's going to think I'm silly. You know, all of those things. So what is a calling? Okay, your calling is the whisper of purpose that's been with you since before you were even aware of it. Now, we all know that, you know, life gets in the way, or life is part of our way. It's not always gets in the way, but it is a part of our way, in the sense that we have children, or we've been married, or we have relationships, or we have jobs, or we have careers, or we have everything else, right? That sort of comes along and squishes down that calling, squishes down your real purpose. So it's not just your job or your title, okay? It's what pulls you, what fires you up, and what gives your life meaning. That's what your calling is. That's what your purpose is. It's not going to a job every day. You know, you may enjoy your job. You may need the income to be able to support yourself or your family, but it's not necessarily your purpose or your life meaning. You know, has it got that meaning that you really, really desire, you know, that fires you up? So your calling is not found, it's remembered. So remembering that when we allow a space to bring up those feelings that excite us. I know when I talk about certain things, I get very excited. I know that people have actually pointed it out to me and said, oh my gosh, you know, that really fires you up, you know. So how do we recognize it? So it's the thing you can't stop thinking about. What do you think about more often than enough when you think about something that fires you up, something that excites you? It could be a hobby, you know, it could be something about going online, it could be the people around you. It's what others often come to you for. So that's what I'm saying. Like it may not be a hobby, it might be something that you're very good at. Let me call out like Jean here. Jean's very good to be able to bring a soothing, calming, relaxing. If you talk with Jean, she has the ability to be able to put a perspective of calm onto things. Okay. Now, I would call that a very big asset. I would also call it part of her calling, even though she may think that it's not something that she's very good at. We all think like that sometimes until somebody brings it up. And today I had a beautiful message from a lady here in Australia who said that hey, Vivina, lovely to see you. She had watched one of our lives from a week or so ago. She doesn't get to them all, okay, and she's not usually here live, but watches the recordings. But the absolute message that came through about how I uplifted her, how my words made her realize that she isn't too old to start over. She isn't too old to get her and she's doing art. I won't go into it now because over the next couple of weeks I will be supporting and showing you her artwork and things like that. So I know, Jane, you'll be very keen on having a look at that. But just the fact of receiving that message to say, hey, you inspired me, you lifted me up, just incredible. It made me feel that what I'm doing here is worthwhile. Like I said, if I can touch one person every week, then that's going to amount up to a lot of people. And like I said, I bring my wisdom, I bring my lifelong experiences, not just through domestic violence and surviving and writing a book and my childhood and everything that I've been through. As you know, my life has been very big. Hello, Ava. Lovely to see you coming in from Bangladesh. And Vivine coming in from Western Australia. Vivina is either staying at work to listen or on her way home. But lovely to see you all. Thank you so much. If you do find this of value today, about your calling is louder than your doubts, and please share this out with anybody that you may know that might need that uplifting and some encouragement to keep going with what they believe in. Some people share things and you'll hear other people go, oh, what do you want to do that for? Excuse me. The thing is, we have no right to judge others on what helps them come alight, what sets them on fire. So it often feels bigger than you, even a little intimidating. So sometimes it is overwhelming. Sometimes we know that we've got this big, deep passion. We want to go forward. We've got this purpose. We want to help, just as our CEO does with, bringing hope to humanity. It's a big dream coming into a reality. Remember that everything along the way is ups and downs and curves and bends. It's never a straight road, okay? So I have a couple of questions for you tonight, a couple of things that I want you to do. Hello, Olive. Lovely to see you. Thanks for joining us tonight. What keeps pulling at your heart even when you try to ignore it? So sometimes we do try to ignore it, don't we? We try to say, I can't do that. That's not, people are going to think I'm silly, So what keeps pulling at your heart even when you try to ignore it? So have a think about that one. If you want to pop it into the chat, that's up to you, totally up to you. And thank you, Kenton, for sharing that out, and also getting people to like, subscribe, and share out. I appreciate that. So number 2, okay, doubt, the great distractor. It almost sounds like a movie, doesn't it? Let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is doubt. Okay, we doubt that we can do this stuff. Doubt isn't just fear, it's disguised protection. Doubt isn't just fear, it's disguised protection. It tries to keep you safe from failure, right? Doubt will do that. Doubt will put that in your head. Remember the old self-talk? I can't do this. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. People will laugh at me. People will think I'm silly. People won't understand my idea. And how many of our great people in history would not have gone ahead had they have listened to that self-talk in their head. And they probably had a little bit. I think we all do. We're only all human, so what would you think of somebody saying to you, oh, you can't do that? So that's where you have to get rid of that doubt. Okay, doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will, from Susie Kassem. That's a quote that I think stands out for me. Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. So remember that. Okay, you may not have chosen a path in your life to do something, or still have a choice to do. If you allow doubt to come in there, don't live with regret. I've spoken about this quite a few times over the weeks. Regret is an awful thing, and you don't want to get to the end of your life and think, I wish I had have done that. I wish that I had just been strong enough. You are strong enough, and you are worthy of doing anything that sets your heart on fire. Okay. So what does it say? Doubt isn't just fear, it's disguised protection. It tries to keep you safe from failure, from pain, from embarrassment. But what it really does is cage you in comfort. Don't we all feel comfortable when we're just going along in our daily lives and doing the same old thing? Sometimes we've got to step out of that cage and take that courageous step. When I opened my florist shop, there were already 6 florists in the town, but I took that step with my elder sister, who I then bought out a year later, to take that step and go, you know what I have is something different. I not only provided flowers in a florist shop, but I created an environment of people that would felt safe. They felt wonderful to come in and have a cup of tea and a chat. I created an environment, not only, like I said, about flowers, but also about building and making them important within that business. So we can all do that. Doesn't matter what you do, you can always uplift somebody else. So here's the truth. Your calling is not asking for your perfection. It's asking for you to listen. Okay. It's asking you to obey what it's saying. So this is your truth. And you can keep stomping it down as much as you like, or thinking or letting that doubt in. So how to quiet the doubt. Okay. So I'm sure that you've all thought about it, but what about speaking affirmations like daily, like, I can do this, I am capable of doing this, I am enough, I am worthy. This sets my soul on fire. Whatever it is that makes that you come alive, do that. So take one small action in alignment with your purpose. So what are you doing in stepping towards that? It's no good sitting back and saying, I've got this fantastic idea and I'd really love to do this. But if you don't take a few little action steps towards it, what can you do today, right, that puts you a little bit closer to that, a little bit closer to aligning yourself with your calling? Jane, what are you saying? I almost let doubt keep me from being published in a children's magazine, but I stepped through the doubt. Oh, that's so beautiful, Jane. We can all do it, honestly. And how do you feel now, Jean? That's what I want to know. Is you stepped through that doubt, and did you look back and go, you know what was I worried about? Why did I concern myself over that? Because that doubt crept in, that self-talk, that says, I don't think I'll be able to do that, I'm not good enough. So let's practice something here. Firstly, surround yourself with voices that build, not break. So we all know that one from over the past few weeks. Build each other up, support each other, say nice things to people, send a message out of nowhere to somebody you haven't seen for a while, uplift. So make sure it's people who build you up and not break you down. So practice here is, when a doubt arises, respond with this: that may be true, but my calling matters more. So that may be true that you're not ready, or you don't feel ready, or you don't feel like it's the timing, but my calling matters more. And your calling is to actually do what you need to do, what you want to do, what sets your soul on fire. So, yeah, it was the best feeling. I know, Jean. I did it. I was so happy and grateful. And you know what? Most of the time you do. You think when I went to write my book that it was just going to be an easy ride. Absolutely not. I had to go back and relive every experience that I'd ever been through, or the ones that I put in my book anyway, because remembering not my whole life is in that book. Would have been many, many, many books. However, you know, what I put in there and what I shared was very raw and real, so that it brings hope to other people, maybe going through different circumstances like myself, and maybe just to bring hope that you are enough and you are worthy. So, number 3, your calling is louder if you're willing to listen. So, how much time do we take sometimes in sitting down and actually listening to our hearts, listening to our minds, writing those things down? Let me just read what Vivine said there. What keeps pulling at my heart is laying the foundation before Ash switches on. Sorry, like getting at the. Sorry, I just have to scroll up. Like getting all the village in my provenance, their pillars subscribed so far, all we affiliated. Wait on next call. Thank you so much, Vivine. We'll get to that section shortly. Vivine is always one step ahead of me, I tell you. So your calling is louder if you're willing to listen. So like I said, how many of us take that time to actually sit down and go, you know what? I need to start listening to what makes me happy. I need to start listening to the wordings that's going on in my head, because maybe I'm allowing that self-doubt, self-talk, negativity to creep in without you even noticing it. So you've got to keep yourself in check sometimes, okay? Your calling doesn't compete, it waits, it whispers, but the moment you lean in, it gets louder. So when you get a little bit closer to thinking about it, sitting there, you know, firing yourself up and thinking, you know what, I can do this. Narelle said that I can. Other people think that my idea is fantastic, you know, so, and you know that I believe in you all. You know that I'm going to bring you a, each week, the whole, you know, worthiness and stuff like that, to say that you're very, very capable. Don't think that you're not because somebody else said that you're not. Okay. So this is not about confidence, but it's about conviction. So you can have all the confidence, but you do have to take those easy little steps first. Remember, baby steps. Take that first step. Take that first step, even in faith, because you're not quite sure where that direction. Nobody knows. Like, I can't emphasize enough that taking that first step is really such a big deal. You know, step out in faith, follow your heart. You know, these are, like I said, I can't express that enough, because I know how I felt when I was challenged to do things in my life, to step forward, to step up. Okay, it is a challenge, but it's a conviction that I made. And I think coming to you each week, the way that I stepped into our company when I first came in, I stepped up for my country. I love my country. They're all convictions. Okay, it's not just me being confident going, hey, I want to do this, because self-talk in myself was saying, oh, do you really think that they're going to listen to you, Narelle? Or, you know, do you really think you know what you're talking about? But the thing is, I was convicted, and I was convicted to learning more and more and more, not just about our business, but also about, you know, online, myself, learning and more, and teaching myself, learning more things along the way. And I think that's something that we can all look at for sure, step by step. My clingy matters more. You're clingy? Yeah, I agree, Jean. Okay, so let's get on. So this is not about confidence, about conviction. Confidence can be shaken. Conviction anchors you. Okay, what anchors you into your life? What makes that? You know, like, it's that purpose, it's that calling. You know, we just got to get rid of the doubt, and we'll never get rid of it completely, but we've got to learn to move over it, make those affirmations. I am worthy, I can do this, my idea is fantastic. And whether others think it is or not, it doesn't matter, honestly. When the calling is clear, the path becomes irrelevant. Now, that was said by Ash Mafara. When the calling is clear, the path becomes irrelevant. Okay, so what is your calling? You know, so your doubts may ask, what if I fail? And your calling asks, what if you rise? What if you are so uplifted? And it's just amazing what that feeling can bring to you. So don't let doubt say, what if I fail? Let your calling, your purpose to be here say, what if you rise? What if you rise up? Amazing. Aren't those beautiful words? So how to turn up the volume on your calling? Start your day, and I know Chris Johnson does this a lot and starts his day with prayer. Okay, so prayer can be very powerful for many of you, many of us. Okay, sometimes silence. Start your day with silence, reflecting on being thankful, being grateful for what you have, and also visualizations. I know that some people, visualize, and forgive me for getting this wrong, but when you're called or you want something in your life, sometimes visualization can work for many people. Some call it prayer, some sit in silence and some visualize what their future looks like. And that is a huge thing, because when you keep doing that every day as an action, so to speak, it becomes part of your life, where it also uplifts yourself. It also gives you the strength to go, you know what? I can do this, because you're telling yourself, you can visualize what it is you want to do. What is your purpose? If it's helping others, like us, uplifting humanity. If you stay focused on what you're actually wanting to do, what your calling is, then doubt will start to slip away and slip away and slip away. Okay. Okay, so let me say, share your vision with one aligned person. Speaking it gives it life. Now, one of the things I've learned is, don't be rushing out there and telling the world everything that you want to do straight away, because there are people who will bring you down. Okay, there will be people who say you cannot do this, and there will be people always in the negative. Okay, so make sure that your vision, you can share it with one aligned person. So one person who believes in the same thing you do. So speaking it gives it life. Okay. So when you speak to another person about it, hey, I've got this idea. I really like to share it with you. I'd like to get your thoughts. However, you're not taking on the negativity, because if we're aligning with the same or the right person, that person is going to uplift you and encourage you to do what sets your soul on fire. Okay, so your action step here is name your calling. Oh, sorry. Trust the assignment over the applause. So trust what you're doing is right. Don't look for the applause of everybody. That's why I said, don't go running out there and sharing it with the world, because the world will tell you you can't. Okay. Trust that one aligned person or two aligned people that will uplift you, and don't look for applause in, oh, look at them, look at what they're doing. Don't look for that. Don't look for numbers. Don't look for that applause. But trust the assignment. So trust what you're wanting to do. Trust what sets your soul on fire. The world does know Jean's name very much so, Vivine. Okay, so number 4 is, oh, hang on. Oh, gosh, sorry, guys. I'm getting ahead of myself tonight. Okay, so the action step for this is name your calling out loud to yourself, then to others. Okay, name your calling. What is your calling? My purpose is to uplift humanity. My purpose is to help the homeless. My purpose is to change my living where I'm living. My purpose is to not only bring about change in my life, but help those in my family who are struggling, to help those, uplift them. So that is a big one, to name your calling. So what is your purpose? Name it out loud to yourself. Okay, my purpose is to, bring hope to others. And for those who've lived through domestic violence, I'm certainly here for you, to be to let you know that you are not alone. Okay, number 4, community and conflict, staying anchored. Okay, recently we've been, sorry, this is a bit of a tough one for me. Recently we've seen some division among those on this journey, and I want to acknowledge that, not sweep it under the rug. But here's the truth: division is a distraction when we lose sight of our shared purpose. So division is a distraction when we lose sight of our shared purpose. What is our shared purpose? What did we come here for? Why did we want to stay this long? You know, I spoke about this again on my spontaneous live the other day. I spoke about love, respect, and unity. And love is louder, respect is richer, and unity is stronger. Okay, so remember, our calling is not to compete, but to complete each other. We are not here in competition. We are not here in division. We stand united. We stood united. And that's what we need to get back to, is standing united for the same purpose, for the same calling. You know, yeah. Anyway, it's a little bit, it's been a little bit overwhelming for me lately. So when you're anchored in your calling, you lead with love. You don't react, you respond, and you become a lighthouse, not a wave. Be a beacon of hope for people. Shine your light bright, just as my song says, shine like you mean it. Don't just go out there fluffy all around, thinking neither here nor there, sorry. You need to make that commitment. You need to make that commitment of love. Change your name, Jean. Hi, Abdul. Lovely to see you. I will come over to the chat in a minute. So you lead with love. Are you leading with love? Are you going into your heart and thinking, you know, am I loving on this person or that person? Or is it causing distraction from division? That's one thing that we don't want. And I know that Ash would not want to see that happening either. So you become a lighthouse, not a wave. So be that beacon of hope to somebody. Shine your light out there like you mean it, okay? So how to protect unity while staying true? Refuse to gossip. Be the peace. Gossip just is not a very good thing at all. I've never been involved in gossip. Maybe when I was younger, but for a very long time now. I don't believe, there is a saying, and I should have written that down, but lead with values, not opinions. We all have an opinion. We all have assumptions, presumptions, and we all like to think that everybody should listen to us or hear us about what we need to know. Lead with values, not opinions, okay? Your opinion is just your thought about something. Is it factual? Is it does it have the evidence to back it up? Remember, you don't need everyone, you just need alignment. So not everybody needs to be your friend, but you do need that alignment with the right people. So please remember that. I really wanted to go over that and just repeat it again. Division is a distraction when we lose sight of our shared purpose. Remember what our shared purpose was? Remember that feeling that you felt? Hey, Olga, lovely to see you. It's first to assist my family members, then extend to the community. Absolutely. I love your heart, Olga. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so let's move on. Purpose meets business. So I just want to take this a little bit over to the business side of things as well. So the practical side, let's bring this into the business space. You're not just selling a product. So if you're out there and you already have a business, all right, if you are waiting for our business, but you also have a job or you're working on something else, you're not just selling a product, you're answering a calling to impact. Okay, so what does your product, your tool, what is it allowing somebody else to have a better life, to be able to do things easier, to bring about a change in their health, you know, there's all different types of things that we can sell. If you want to sell something, go and open a shop and sell it, you know. Like I said, my experience in my florist shop was to build a clientele that loved not only my flowers or our flowers, but me and my family. And it was a unity, it was togetherness, it was, they wouldn't go anywhere else because they didn't get the same experience, right? Of, you know, love and trust and honesty and caring and all of those things which roll into business. Okay, everybody forgets about this sometimes. You know, you got a business out there, you got to earn the money, you got to pay the bills, you got to pay the staff, the electricity, and then maybe you get to take, you know, 5 cents home yourself, because that's what it's all about, is putting your any financial gain back into the business to build it, to make sure that you have something available for people. However, if you build that love and atmosphere, and you know, it's just completely different. So so you're not just selling a product, you're answering a call to impact. Every email you send, hi, Dr. Demaler. Hi, I know I get it wrong, sorry, but thank you for joining us. Every email you send out, every live you do, so whether you're doing a recording yet, or whether you're doing lives, or whether you're going, you know, live on Facebook or any of the social medias, every conversation, it's all echoing your deeper purpose. So why do you want to get in contact with that person? And I can tell you today, a lot of businesses fail because they're after the money. That they're not after that, you know, uplifting a customer. They're not after providing a service. They're not after doing the things that we need to do to keep a very good business going, right? And I'm talking about any business here, whether it's online, whether it's our business, whether it's bricks and mortar, you know, business, whatever it is for you, this is what you need to do. Okay, so it echoes your deep purpose. When I have a love of flowers and people come into my shop, oh my gosh, it was like, oh, but what about this and what about that? And we can put this together and make it look, and who's it for? You know, like when I did weddings in particular, and I was very, very fussy, I would a bride would come in with a, I want this. And I'd sit her down and I'd say, well, what does your dress look like? You know, what color are your bridesmaids? I'd have a look at her personally. I'd already be making a description in my head as to what I think would look better. And then I would suggest to her that this is going to carry better. It's going to look so much nicer and it's going to flow. And like I said, I was very fussy. And I don't think if there was ever one time that a bride ever got what she came in, what she thought she wanted, because I took the time to sit with her. It was her special day. You know, what is it about her? Was she happy and bubbly, or big, small, indifferent? You know, there were so many things that you can add into that experience of getting married. It's exciting times, right? They look at a book and they see these flowers and they think, oh, I really like that. But it's not about that. It's creating an experience. Sorry, I'm getting into my flowers too much there. Yes, thank you so much, Jean. So don't build a business, build a belief. Okay, so what do you think Ash is doing? Do you think he's building a business, or do you think he's building a belief? He's building a belief in us that we will not only follow his mission and vision, but bring about that change for so many in our lives, you know, bring about that hope, bring about that hope for humanity, uplifting humanity. There's so many things that we can be doing out there, even now, okay? We don't need to go, oh, when this happens, I'm going to do this. You can do it right now, and you know that you can. I will come back. Sorry, I keep diverting over to the chat. So how to stay focused, how to stay purpose focused in business. Know why you're here, not just what you do. Why are you here? Okay, we can all ask that question to ourselves, and we need to not make it just about what we do, you know. So it's, I'm just here to work, and then I'm going to buy a car, and I'm going to buy a house, and then I'm going to buy a bigger house and maybe another car, and then I'll help my family. But a lot of people get stuck in the this is what I'm here to do, rather than the why. Why am I here? And you will find, if you have read my book or read anything on my website, which my website is not too far away, it's there's a lot. I explain about my children. My children were my why back in the day when domestic violence was overtaking my life, in a sense. And my children were the ones that kept me alive, had the strength to keep getting up each day and keep moving forward. So what is your why in life? Why are you doing this? Why are you here? Anyway. Okay, so build relationships, not just lists. So we talk about building a list, but what sort of a relationship do we have with those people if you're just getting a number or a name or an email and things like that? So coming on here each week allows me to build a relationship with each and every one of you, not just for our business, but also for those out there that need help, those out there that I can bring hope to, those out there that can make think a little bit differently. And I don't mean make think, because I can't make you think anything, okay? But I can bring about my experiences or my wisdom, so it does make you think a little bit differently about what your life is right now and how it can change. Hello, Pat. Lovely to see you. Thank you so much for coming in so early. Share stories that reflect your heart, not just your product. So if a person's going to buy something from you, or if a person's going to come into our business, what do you think they're going to be there for? Yes, some people will come in because they'll see a product, but what they see is a family, what they see is unity, and what they see is people uplifting people all over the world, not just in your corner of the world. So, yeah, Doctor, it certainly is. My calling is louder than my doubts, for sure. Okay, so mini exercise here is before your next business move. So say you're thinking about doing something, say you're out there doing it. Does this align with my calling? So ask yourself, does this align with my calling? And again, I'm not saying that you should leave your job, okay? And we all need to do something to be able to bring in an income. But ask yourself, does this align with your calling? Okay, and are you doing something each day, a little step each day towards that calling, towards that purpose, towards making those changes in your life? Okay, because that's what's super important as well, is to make sure that there's a balance, I suppose, between what you do for work and what your purpose in life is. Okay, maybe you don't have a purpose just yet, but if you sit quietly and go over these again and again, it may be able to help you, enlighten you to be able to bring that purpose to the fore, something that sets your heart on fire. Okay, so yeah, so does this align with my calling? So the final bit is the choice is yours, and we all know this, okay? If you listen, there's no mistake in your design. You were called, not just placed, okay? We know that we were called for our business. We know that there's a purpose there. You know, some may be there or came in for different reasons. Some may have come in because of money only. And we know that sometimes when that happens, it's not in alignment with the mission or the vision of our CEO, okay? And what happens is, after a while, they see a bright, shiny object and they start running off in all different directions, because they're not committed to that vision. It wasn't necessarily meant for them, okay? So sometimes we're called, right? And sometimes people are just placed somewhere. They were there at that time, but it's not meant for them. And I don't mean that to sort of sound awful, but I really just want you to think about why you're here and why you're still here and why you will continue on this mission and vision to bring about change in our world. So the doubts may knock at your door, but they don't get to sit at your table. So the doubts might knock at your door, come in, you know, they're coming into your head. Don't let them sit at the table. They're not welcome here. Like I said, we're not all perfect. We're not ever going to have no doubts, okay? But when they come up, don't allow them to sit there, Okay, don't allow them to sit at your table. You were born to answer a calling that only you can hear. So many of us have a calling that only we can hear. Okay, not everybody's going to be Narelle Warcon or Gina Lever or Vivino Benny. You know, not others are going to be Birgit, and any of the others here, Kenton. You know, have a listen to your calling. Choose today to believe in it more than you fear it. So choose today to believe in it rather than fear it. Okay, you were born to answer a calling, and only you can hear it. Okay. So let's do a comments drop, and then I'll come over to the chat. So drop in the comments. What do you feel called? What do you feel called to do, even if it scares you? And share this live with someone who's doubting their voice. And please replay this week as often as you need to realign. Remember that sometimes we hear things and we go, what did she say, or what happened, or I sort of half wrote that down but I didn't. Sometimes it's about going over things more than once to be able to go, oh, okay, now I get it. Okay, I got it now. Yeah, so until next time, keep walking in purpose, keep loving louder, and keep choosing unity over ego. Your calling is waiting, and it's louder than ever. Okay, so that's the end of our topic today, and I hope you enjoyed that. Like I said, many topics that I bring each week sometimes can be more than just one week's unpacking, but I like to keep it different. I like to keep it fired up. I like to keep you thinking, and I like to bring value. And sometimes it's nice to change things around a little bit. So if you have found this of value today, thank you so much. Please share it out. And please subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel. It is free. Remember that, you know, we're all here to uplift each other, to support. Remember, those that are out there doing their little bit in their little corner, they all need uplifting and they all need supporting. So please, if you can do that for me, that would be great. If you are watching the recording after this, or it goes out, please leave a comment in the comments. It does help with the algorithms. And also, I have a new, you know my song, Shine Like You Mean It. Like I said in the beginning, we're all here to shine. You are worthy, you are enough. Shine like you mean it, though, okay? That's what's really important. It's, yeah, we can all shine. We've all got nice things about us, whether it be a outward appearance or nice mannerisms, you know, and things like that. But shine like you mean it. Be that diamond. You know, step up. Take that first step. It will make a difference in your life, and you will be amazed at what you can do. Okay, not what you can't. Don't let that doubt in. So I do have the song at the end, as per normal, with the words, and I know that I'm getting many messages of love and affection around the song because it is a beautiful, uplifting song. We are also going to be putting it onto the YouTube channel as a looped video. So you'll be able to listen to it for up to 2 hours if you really want to. But I just wanted to put it on there because some people are really, really finding a lot of encouragement and things like that from that song. You know, shine like you mean it. You know, step up and be there. Like, get out of the way. Like, what does it say?